Good morning. I'm Laurel Whitehouse. My personal pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a member of the parish committee here at First Parish Wayland. Each Sunday, the service begins with a welcome from someone in the parish committee currently. It's a way to familiarize you with our faces, our voices, a little bit of our personalities. And so also the parish committee has been offering throughout the 3 years of our interim and search process, a monthly listening time down after the service. So we encourage you to come and ask any questions you might have about the search or anything else, or just something you want to hear more about. And the next one will be May 3rd, and June 7th will be our final one for the season. So I encourage you to do that. We're trying to increase transparency and make sure no questions that we can answer remain unanswered. Good morning. We're glad you're joining us this morning, online or in person. A special welcome to visitors, especially those who might be with us for the first time. We invite you to join us downstairs in the room under this one for online community time following today's worship. Our mission here at First Parish Wayland is to build community, search for meaning, deepen our spirituality, and make a better world. If you'd like to know more about First Parish or Unitarian Universalism, someone from the membership team will be at the welcome table in the back corner of that downstairs room to answer questions after the service. And Reverend Lisa or Kate Holland, our Director of Lifespan Exploration, are also available for questions. And if you choose a red cup at social hour, people will come over and start a conversation. So it could be a new person, it could be someone who just feels like chatting to someone different. A big thanks to all our service participants whose names are in the order of service, and do silence those frisky cell phones for our time together. And now let's give each other a wave hello, including those online. It's very subdued here this morning. Let's all make a little noise. Let's say, welcome. Glad you're all here with me on this misty, dark, dreary day, but it is a wonderful place to be gathered. All right, so let's breathe in and breathe out, breathing in peace and breathing out love as we settle together for our time of worship. And Linda Murdoch and Diane Muffett will now light our chalice.
With open minds and loving hearts, we gather to search for meaning, to care for one another, and to work together for a better world.
This morning, I'm inviting Linda and Diane to light another candle in honor of Lesbian Visibility Week, which is this coming week. The theme for 2026 is health and well-being, focusing on protecting the physical and mental health of the lesbian community. We're also lighting this candle for Non-Binary Parents Day, which is today, and recognizes the contributions of non-binary individuals nurturing their families and breaking down stereotypes about gender roles in parenting. Thank you. morning. I'm Reverend Lisa Perrywood. I'm the interim minister here at First Parish. My pronouns are she and her. This week is Earth Week, and in the past year, our beloved Earth and its fragile climate have taken a big hit. Trees, plants, animals, insects, and all that depend on them for life, which is all living things, are even more greatly at risk now. It's not an understatement to say that climate justice has been set back by decades in the last few years. On this week, when we celebrate Earth Day, let's remember that all the gifts that our planet provides, with deep gratitude and an even more resolute commitment to its protection. This is Invitation by Mary Oliver. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day, for the goldfinches that have gathered in a field of thistles, for a musical battle to see who can sing the highest note or the lowest, or the most expressive of mirth or the most tender? Their strong, blunt beaks drink the air as they strive melodiously, not for your sake or mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for the sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say. It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in the broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life." Dear friends, come now into this sacred and beloved space we co-create each week, and let us worship together. And now I invite you to rise in body and or spirit and join in singing hymn number 126 in the gray hymnal, "Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing."
Good morning. My name is Kate Holland. I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration here at First Parish, and my pronouns are she, her. So this morning I have a story to share about a little girl named Sarah. Sarah and her mom lived together in a beautiful little cottage right on the edge of a woods. Every morning they would wake up, Sarah would get her special book and her special pencil, and they would go walking in the woods, and they would look at all of the small things that were in the woods. The bugs, the frogs, the little animals that lived in all the trees and all the hiding places in the woods. Sarah liked to take out her book, and she would write down what they'd see, and sometimes she'd even draw pictures of them. She loved all of the things around her in her forest, but especially she had a beautiful beech tree, and it was huge. It was so big that even with her arms out as far as they could go, she couldn't hug it all the way around. She loved her beech tree. It had a low hanging limb that she loved to climb up on, and she would lie down and look at the light and the leaves above her. Her mother said, "This tree is a mama tree." And Sarah said, "What? Why is it a mama tree?" And she said, "Well, this tree helps all the other trees in the forest to grow with her roots." Sarah said, "Wait, aren't roots just the things that keep them from falling down?" And her mom said, "Well, they do that too. But on the mama tree's roots, there are fungus that go around, and they grow out like a highway from tree to tree to tree, and it helps them all get the water and nutrients they need to grow." "Huh," said Sarah. She said, "You know what else? Trees and we live together, and we give each other things we need. We breathe out carbon dioxide, and the trees take it in, and they make oxygen, which we all need to live." Sarah looked at her beech tree and she said, "Wow, you stand so still, and you're so busy. How can that be?" So one morning, are we okay? One morning, they went out for their walk, and Sarah noticed that on most of the trees, there were orange circles all around her. She looked at them, and she looked at her mom, and she said, "Mom, what are these orange circles?" Her mother made kind of an angry sound of a breath and pushed it out and said, "Well," she said, "do you remember how our house is made from wood, and the paper in your special book is made from wood, and your pencil you use to draw with is made from wood, and there's all of those things that are made from wood. So sometimes the loggers have to come in and they cut down the trees, and the circles, the orange circles, tell them which trees to cut down." She said, "Well, I would give up my pencil if the tree could stay, because I like the trees better." She said, "Well, it's what's going to happen, and there's not a lot we can do about it." So they walked on, and Sarah kind of rushed, and she went to her beech tree, and she started to cry, because on her beech tree was a big orange circle, and she knew that they were going to cut that down too. It made her really, really sad, and as time went on, she could hear the loggers start early in the week. They were far away, but she could still hear the sounds. And each day they got a little closer, and the sounds got a little louder, until she knew that they were going to be really close to her soon. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She was so sad. And she said, "Mom, I can't imagine them taking my mother tree down. I will miss her more than I can say." And she said, "I wish there was something I could do. I want to talk to those loggers and make them understand." Her mom said, "Write it down in your book what you want to say to them." And so she started to write, and she said, "Loggers, go away." And so she figured out that that probably wasn't what was going to make them think about it. So she ripped out the page, and she ripped up and crumpled it all up. And then she remembered how important and precious that paper was, because it came from trees. So she got it all the crinkles out, and she started writing on the back of the paper. She said, "Dear loggers, please don't cut down my mama tree. All the little trees are going to need her when you replant, and we all need the oxygen." She took her note the next morning and woke up very early, and she took tape and she put it on the mama tree and she taped it up. All that day, she could hear the loggers that were close by, and she was very, very anxious all day long. It was hard to do anything. Late that evening, when the sounds of the loggers finally stopped, she and Mama went for a walk in the woods. It was very sad to see all of the small little lumps of wood left from the trees that had been cut down. She walked a little faster and got up to the top of the hill, and she saw her beech tree was still there. And she saw that it was still going to be there to help all of the other small plants. I love that I have discovered in life that trees have a secret life underneath the earth, that they talk to each other and are connected in ways that we don't even know or understand completely. But how cool is that? And it reminds me that we all are connected, and connected to the trees and all of the things that we give to each other and that they give to us. And so on this soon-to-be Earth Day, I hope we all have that moment of being so grateful for what we get and remembering how much work we all have to do to preserve that. So I'm going to invite our child to the classroom if they want to come, and then I'm going to have Polly and the choir sing out, and the words to sing out are in your order of service. Thank you.
The offering we give each week is a symbol of our commitment to this faith community and to the life and works of our congregation. Instructions on how to donate online are in the order of service. If you are here for the first time, please let the plate pass you by. You are our guest. Our plate this week is shared with Metro West Climate Solutions. MCS is a local partnership of organizations and congregations, including First Parish, that works to inspire healthy, sustainable communities by hosting programs that provide knowledge and tools for bringing about solutions to the climate crisis. Their motto is, "The problems are global, the solutions are local." We receive your generosity with gratitude and in appreciation of all that sustains us. Your gifts maintain the strength of this community and all it does within these walls, as well as the work we do to make the world a better place. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Good morning. I'm Ted Barnes. My pronouns are he, his, him, and I'm a lay minister of this congregation. This is the time in our service we set aside to acknowledge the joys and sorrows that we all hold. In both our sharing and in our witness, we affirm our covenant to care for one another. We face the uncertainty of the road ahead in our country and our world. We light a vigil candle in solidarity with all those who are living in fear, especially those facing food insecurity, job loss, and other economic challenges. We offer our deep love for all beings, remembering that justice is what love looks like in public. May the love which abides in our community offer hope, strength, and peace in the days to come. If you have a personal joy and or sorrow you would like to share, please feel welcome to come forward now or raise your hand and I will bring you the microphone. Those not spoken, may we hold in our hearts those who have spoken, those who have named, and those we hold in silence. May it be so.
This morning we honor the lives of trees, plants, animals, insects, and all of the earth defenders whose lives have been risked or sacrificed in their defense. We lift all of nature up in prayer, including the countless species already lost to the effects of global warming and climate change, as well as government and economic policies. As we acknowledge those lost, I invite you to respond, "We remember you." To all those people lost to climate activism, we remember you. To all those people lost in the service of protecting the forests, we remember you. To all those people lost in taking a stand for justice for ancestral lands, we remember you. To all those animals, siblings of flesh and blood, breath and bone, whose lives have been lost as global climates change, we remember you. To all those plant spirits, siblings of the green world, whose lives have been lost as global climates change, we remember you. To all those species lost forever as global climate changes, we remember you. We remember you, and we commit ourselves to restoring balance. So may it be. Amen. Now please close your eyes if you choose as we enter into a time of meditation. Gathered here, we breathe deeply, becoming aware of our bodies sitting here, noticing our hearts beating, our breath moving in and out. We are filled with gratitude for all the gifts of this world, the land we live on, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the old mountains and hills that hold us steady to our ground, the forests that give us their healing green, flowers that give us their beauty and fragrance, fields that give us our daily bread, stars that show us our place, the wilderness and the tame backyards, all of it our home. Breathing in, we remember the ancestors who lived on this land and who shaped it. The Wampanoag, Pequot, Nipmuc, and Massachusetts, the settlers, the farmers, the hunters, the immigrants, the artists, the families, the explorers, the business people, the engineers, the builders, the scientists, the teachers, the workers, the leaders. We are grateful and we inherit their choices. Breathing in, we honor the animals and creatures that have made their home in this land, the ones here now and the ones that used to be here. We envision the future generations who will live on this land and let their voices fill our hearts. Breathing in. Gathered here, we remember that this is our home, but not just ours.
When I read the title of the reading for this morning, I jumped up and down and I said, ooh, 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 choose me, because as my spiritual faith statement that I made a few years back said, weeding and getting my hands immersed in the soil is my personal spiritual practice of choice. It is my jam. So I had to read this. It is called Ode to Dirt by Sharon Olds. Dear Dirt, I am sorry I slighted you. I thought you were only the background for the leading characters, the plants and animals and human animals. It's as if I had loved only the stars and not the sky, which gave them space. Subtle, various, sensitive, you are the skin of our terrain. You're our democracy. When I understood I had never honored you as a living equal, I was ashamed of myself, as if I had not recognized a character who looked so different from me. But now I can see us all made of the same basic materials, cousins of that first exploding from nothing in our intricate equation together. Oh, dirt, help us find ways to serve your life, you who have brought us forth and fed us, and who, at the end, will take us in and rotate with us and wobble and orbit.
Thank you, choir. It's beautiful. During our meditation, we remembered and honored the earth defenders, those who've sacrificed their lives protecting forests, lands, waters, and the plant, animal, and insect life they harbor. There are hundreds of those folks every year who die in the defense of the earth. Their work often goes uncelebrated, and it is critical to the defense of our precious earth. It's also important to explore how we can enrich our own lives by deepening our attention and building personal relationships to the natural world around us. Forests, trees, and plants have so much to teach us if only we will slow down to listen. Our earth forever turning cannot be taken for granted. It requires our attention in so many ways. Some years ago, 2 books moved and woke me up to see trees and plants through different eyes. The Overstory by Richard Powers is a fictional account of extreme activism for trees and forests, with people living in threatened tree canopies, putting their bodies in front of logging equipment. Reminds me of our little story this morning. It's fiction, but it's also based in fact. And The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben, a German forest manager who offers decades of observation and scientific learning about the lives of trees that we are barely beginning to understand. Both books teach powerfully about the deep knowledge of trees and plants, offering perspectives and lessons we need to learn if we are to survive on this planet. Trees are our ancestors, as well as our contemporaries, holding ancient wisdom that we ignore at our peril. I find myself especially moved by this excerpt from the Overstory. Say the planet is born at midnight and runs for 1 day. First, there's nothing. 2 hours lost to lava and meteors. Life doesn't show up until 3 or 4 a.m. Even then, just the barest self-copying bits and pieces. From dawn to late morning, a million years of branching. Nothing more exists than lean and simple cells. Then there is everything. Something wild happens not long after noon. One kind of simple cell enslaves a couple of others. Nuclei get membranes, cells evolve organelles. What was once a solo campsite grows into a town. The day is 2/3 done when animals and plants part ways. And still, life is only single cells. Dusk falls before compound life takes hold. Every large living thing is a latecomer, showing up after dark. 9 p.m. brings jellyfish and worms. Later that hour comes the breakout, backbones, cartilage, an explosion of body forms. From one instant to the next, countless new stems and twigs on the spreading crown burst open and run. Plants make it up on land just before 10 p.m. Then insects, who instantly take to the air. Moments later, tetrapods crawl up from the tidal muck, carrying around on their skin and in their guts whole worlds of earlier creatures. By 11, dinosaurs have shot their bolt, leaving the mammals and the birds in charge for an hour. Somewhere in that last 60 minutes, high up in the phylogenetic canopy, life grows aware. Creatures start to speculate. Animals start teaching their children about the past and the future. Animals learn to hold rituals. Anatomically modern man shows up 4 seconds before midnight. The first cave paintings appear 3 seconds later. And in 1,000th of a click of the second hand, life solves the mystery of DNA and starts to map the tree of life itself. By midnight, most of the globe is converted to row crops for the care and feeding of one species. And that's when the tree of life becomes something else again. That's when the giant trunk starts to teeter. It's a pretty moving story, isn't it? Humans appear only in the last 4 seconds of this imagined day, while plant life has been evolving since noon. Just take that in for a second. And then consider the arrogance of so-called modern man colonizing the globe with row crops to feed ourselves. Not to mention pillaging the land for fossil fuels, grazing animals for our consumption, polluting the air with our vehicles, poisoning waters with our factories, and on and on. Just who do we think we are? When we think of ourselves as a superior species, we act as if the natural world was created for our domination and consumption, not for loving appreciation and shared living. It's no wonder the giant trunk of the tree of life is starting to teeter. Many, if not all of us, have great appreciation, even love for trees and plant life. We know how they make us feel, but do we know how they feel? We might never have considered that a tree has feelings. But Peter Wohlleben, with several decades living in and observing forest life, is convinced that they can feel pain and have emotions like fear. Trees like to stand close together and cuddle, he says. There is, in fact, friendship among trees. Wohlleben describes how trees have families, how they care for young saplings, sheltering and protecting them from storms, sharing interconnected root systems, providing nutrients, and sharing water. Scientific research teaches us that plants can smell, taste, and hear using information they receive to protect themselves. Plants fight for their territory. They evade predators. They seek out food. They even trap prey. If they hear the munching sound of a caterpillar, that's another story. Sensing the approach of a predator, some plants flood their leaves with chemical defenses designed to ward off attackers. Thale cress, for example, produces a large amount of mustard oil in its leaves, and when the unknowing caterpillar consumes too much mustard oil, it succumbs to the poison and dies. The dodder plant uses scent to hunt its prey. It can identify viable prey based on smell, honing in on its favorites and using scents emitted by unhealthy specimens to avoid them. Some parasitic plants also use their sense of smell to distinguish between the best hosts for them to sponge off. Mimosa pudica, also known as the touch-me-not plant, is a famously interesting plant. The moment someone touches it, or if there's any disturbance to its structure, the plant rapidly closes its leaves. Some plants are sensitive to hot and cold, allowing them to respond to the weather by changing their growth rates and modulating their use of water. We receive so much enjoyment from plants, yet because their movement and growth is so slow, we discount the feelings they may have. Meanwhile, indigenous peoples all over the world have honored and attempted to protect plant life, all life, in ways we have historically disrespected and called primitive. And they have been at the forefront of protecting forests. Many of us feel a sense of connection to trees, like our little girl in the story, when we walk through a forest. They have actual connections to each other underground, communicating, healing, protecting their tree families. This is Peter Wohlleben again. Trees learn to save water. They feed their young and bank resources and warn their kin and send out signals to wasps to come and save them from attacks. A forest knows things. They wire themselves up from underground. There are brains down there, ones our own brains aren't wired to see. Root plasticity, solving problems and making decisions, fungal synapses link enough trees together and a forest becomes aware, he says. The environment is alive, a fluid, changing web of purposeful lives dependent on each other. We have shaped and been shaped by forests for longer than we've been Homo sapiens. Men and trees are closer cousins than we may think. We're two things, hatched from the same seed, heading off in opposite directions, using each other in a shared place, a place that needs all of its parts. Trees, it said, are doing science, running 1 billion field tests. They make conjectures, and the world tells them what works. At some time over the last 400 million years, some plant has tried every strategy with a remote chance of working. And we're just beginning to realize how varied a thing working might be. Life has a way of talking to the future, says Wohlleben. It's called memory. It's called genes. To solve the future, we must save the past. My simple rule of thumb, then, is this, he says. When you cut down a tree, what you make from it must be at least as miraculous as what you cut down. Like trees, we need to learn to weave deep connections, create real offshoots, build stable and sustainable environments, live lives that can endure, foster love that is loving, keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in, forming what might look like a tangle of thickets and brambles on the outside, but to us is interconnected like rabbit runs and burrows. Richard Powers says in the Overstory, if we could see what green was doing, we'd never be lonely or bored. If we could understand green, we'd learn how to grow all the food we need in layers 3 deep, on 1/3 of the ground we need right now, with plants that protect one another from pests and stress. If we knew what green wanted, we wouldn't have to choose between the Earth's interests and ours. They'd be the same. As the Artemis astronauts looked down on their home planet just 10 days ago, they had the unique opportunity to experience what's been called the overview effect, a phenomenon caused by seeing the Earth from space that can shift astronauts' perspectives on life itself. Space exploration reminds astronauts that this planet has no fixed geographical boundaries, that we are all one people. Astronaut Christina Koch had a profound message once they reconnected with Earth. We will explore, we will build ships, we will visit again, we will construct science outposts, we will drive rovers, we will do radio astronomy, we will found companies, we will bolster industry, we will inspire, but ultimately, we will always choose Earth. We will always choose each other. Dear friends, not just for Earth Week, but every day, may we remember that this precious Earth that has so much to teach us, this planet forever turning, is our only and beloved home. In the words of poet Marge Piercy, live as if you liked yourself, and it may happen. Reach out. Keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time, not always. For every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. May it be so. Amen. And now I'm going to invite you to sing a different hymn from the one in your order of service. We're going to sing hymn number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning. It's in the gray hymnal. So please rise now as you're willing and are able and join in singing number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning. Well, first, I have been corrected. The memorial service next Saturday for Connie Blair is at 11 o'clock, not 2 o'clock. Sorry about that. This pretty planet spinning in space, your garden, your harbor, your holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle